What's going on, guys? I just wanted to make this video to kind of let you guys know what's been going on in my life outside of the channel, which also affects the channel, and then what the future of the channel is going to be, or possibly could be, and then maybe get some feedback from you guys. This is going to be pretty unscripted, off the cuff. I didn't write down any notes or anything. There's definitely a few things that I want to touch on and talk about, but other than that, it's going to be very much me just kind of talking. I don't know how long the video is going to be. Hopefully not too long, but I have really no idea. We'll see what happens. And if you don't want to listen to me talk for as long as I end up talking, I'm going to put timestamps for each individual thing that I talk about. So once the video is out, I'll do that. Other than that, I won't do hardly any editing. I'll maybe put like the intro at the beginning and then the outro at the end. And then I'll probably make a thumbnail and then just put this thing right out, add the timestamps, and boom. That's it. So I guess just to start off right off the bat with the biggest thing that's happened in my life recently, and that's that I got a job. I got a full-time job, which has made it very difficult for me to produce content regularly. It's a 9-to-5 job, weekly, every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And I don't know how some people did it. Like, I know a lot of people who are full-time on YouTube now used to have a full-time job and also put out YouTube content basically every day. I mean, they must have had literally no other time for anything else, if assuming that they got decent sleep, which I also want to keep doing. I am someone who I don't function very well in minimal sleep. I need to get at least 7 hours, but ideally close to 8 or 9, which can be very difficult, but it's something that I need to do to stay sharp and stay alert. So I'm going to try to keep doing that, while also having this full-time job, while also trying to watch the Brewer game every night and hang out with friends and family. And I'm going to try to keep making YouTube content, so it's going to be tough. The job itself, it's a corporate job. It's fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's a job. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. It's the kind of thing that I certainly am a fit for, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's something that I want to keep doing for the rest of my life. In fact, I don't really think it is at all. I kind of don't like the whole system and the way everything works. I don't like that you get paid per hour, despite the fact that I'm much more productive than a lot of people. I think you should get paid by what you get done. Like on Friday, for example, I had a lot to do, but I got all of it done, and I was still sitting there with like an hour and a half left to work. I'm like, what the hell do I do? Nothing. I couldn't do anything, so I just sit on my ass, but I can't leave because then I don't get paid for the last hour and a half. So I think it would make much more sense for jobs like this if you got paid on efficiency rather than total hours. Just throwing it out there. I mean, for jobs like food service and stuff like that where you wait for customers to come in, that makes sense to get paid hourly. This one doesn't really. I don't really get it, because I think productiveness, efficiency should be more important, and a lot of jobs are like this. So the whole thing's flawed. I'm not going to say how much I'm getting paid, but hopefully it increases by a lot if I get officially brought on full-time. It's just a temp job right now. And yeah, as good as I am at it, I don't think it's something that I want to do forever. I don't really like corporate jobs, working for people, getting paid hourly, despite the fact that I'm much more efficient than a lot of people. I'm a very efficient worker. Not a big fan of that. So I'm going to do this for now. For how long, I have no idea. And it's nothing against the people that work there. They all seem very cool so far, honestly. They seem great. But just the way the whole thing works, not a big fan of. And I think the age of the way the job market and the way working hourly pays and Mondays 9 to 5, I feel like that is a bit of a dying system, and I think people are starting to realize how flawed it is finally. But something I got to do for now, because I need money. I need to survive, so. But I think eventually I want to be on my own, doing my own thing, whether that's this or something else. I don't know if it's going to be this. It seems like a pretty massive long shot. However, if I don't try, it's never going to happen anyway. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to do as much as I can to keep producing content. And then that brings me to my next thing, the next topic I want to talk about, which is the future of the channel. Since it's going to be tough to produce as much content as I want to do the stuff that's going to appeal to the most people, but also happens to be something that I like doing and feel like I'm pretty good at. So, for example, I feel like a lot of you, I've gained a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers recently in the past month or two, and it seems like, based on the view count, that a lot of you found me through my Scream character tier list, which I had a lot of fun making that, and that has by far the most views of anything on my channel. I mean, it's incredible. Still climbing, and it's almost at like 800 at this point. I would have never guessed that. Unfortunately, I haven't gained nearly as many subscribers as I would have hoped from that. I still own like 99% of the people watching my content are not subscribers, so that's unfortunate. Guys, if you enjoy my content, go back and watch some of my other videos. Watch it Scream character tier list. Watch my MCU tier list, my Scream Ghostface ranking. That's the kind of stuff I really like doing, rankings and tier lists. Watch those if you like the kind of stuff. Subscribe, notification bell. Support the channel. Drop a comment, if you have agreements, disagreements with anything. And then, so just to continue on with this, I want to hear from you guys. So it seems like a lot of you found me from my Scream character tier list, which is great. Do you guys want to see more of that kind of stuff? Do you want to see more of the more formal rankings? You like tier lists better? Do you like regular rankings better? I kind of like both. It kind of depends on what exactly I'm trying to do. I'm never going to be that person that reviews every single new movie when it comes out, and that's like all I do. I'm just not. That's not me. I don't see every new movie. In fact, I almost saw a movie yesterday, but none of the stuff in the theater right now appealed to me that much, besides the ones that I've already seen, which I will talk about those in a little bit. But that's just not me. And there's so many people that do that. There's so many people that review every movie when it comes out. Some of them get press screeners. They review movies early to get extra views. I just don't think that's going to be me. I'm still going to review the big movies, the stuff that I really want to talk about. Like, I'm definitely going to review Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness when it comes out. I'm seeing it on Friday. 100% going to review that. Probably going to do a combined spoiler-free and spoiler review just like I did for Spider-Man No Way Home. That's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do some more MCU content like tier lists and rankings after that. That stuff tends to do pretty well. I also have a lot of ideas for the future of the channel. The stuff that I have not even touched on yet. For example, I recorded a review for a old video game, which I think is really underrated. I will not spoil what that is. I want to keep the surprise. But I'm probably going to wait to release that until the Doctor Strange hype dies down. And then it'll also coincide with something else that's coming out fairly soon that's somewhat tangentially related to it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to do a walkthrough of the game as well. So would you guys think that kind of stuff would be fun? Video game content. I certainly would love to talk about some of the older video games that I really like. Some of the Star Wars ones, some of the Call of Duty ones. Do some, gameplay content where I'm playing. Maybe I'll join Twitch. I'm someone who I am generally pretty scatterbrained. I am pulled in so many different directions. There's so many different things that I want to do. And I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on what you would like to see from me, what kind of things maybe I shouldn't do, what kind of things that I have done do you like the most, what kind of things that I have done do you not like the most and not continue to do. I really, really want to get feedback from you guys. So if you have anything to say, please drop a comment and let me know what kind of stuff you want to see and what kind of stuff you've liked in the past. I almost did a live video for this, although I decided against it because I do like interacting with people in the chat, but the problem is I also would have to interact with everyone in the chat as opposed to just continuing on with my thoughts and touching on everything I wanted to touch on. So I decided to just post a video here and just have you guys drop comments give your thoughts afterwards. So I've also thought about doing edits. I really, really love that kind of stuff, where people make usually like somewhere between 4 and 8 minutes long. They do an edit on like a character or a movie, and they put like music in the background and like it's supposed to like elicit big emotions out of you. Love that kind of stuff. I've thought about doing that, although a lot of people that do that kind of stuff tend to only do that kind of stuff. If I did that, I wouldn't only do that. But would you guys be interested in that? Do you think that's something that you would like to see from my channel? So many different things. I've thought about maybe doing some analyses of some of my favorite TV shows, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, the one that was on 4Kids. Love that one. I also might talk about like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I've been rewatching Justice League Unlimited lately. I'm on the Cadmus arc right now. It's phenomenal, and it's really about to pick up soon. Next time I start watching it again, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that, even though I have a pretty good idea what happens. I've seen it before, but I remember it being just a phenomenal arc, especially the end of it. So many different things I would like to talk about. There was oh, you know what? I thought about doing some... I thought there was another thing I thought about doing. related to maybe another cartoon. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! I thought about doing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, maybe about the show or the cards or both. Maybe like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist tier list. I feel like that would probably get a lot of views. That'd be a lot of fun. Put guys and girls on tier lists based on their dueling abilities. I think I'd have a lot of fun doing that. That would probably get a decent amount of views. And here's the thing. I want to figure out, because my mind is getting pulled in so many different directions, I want to figure out what kinds of videos that I like doing will get the most views. And then I will maybe focus more on that kind of stuff. As long as it's something, again, that I like doing. So this is kind of a stage where I'm trying things. It's kind of a trial and error stage where I'm trying out so many different things, see what sticks, see what doesn't, and, learn from that. So that being said, I guess the next thing I want to talk about, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about what's been going on in my life and why I haven't been putting out content as much in the last few weeks and what the future of the channel is. I want you guys to let me know. What do you want me to do? What kind of stuff have you liked in the past? What kind of stuff have you not liked that much in the past? What kind of constructive criticisms do you have? What do you think I could be good at? What do you think I already am really good at? I want to hear from you guys. Whatever you got, let me know. And of all the ideas I brought up, I even got some more ones that I can't necessarily think of off the top of my head. But whatever you want to see in the future of the channel, let me know in the comments if you have any opinions whatsoever. So now I kind of want to talk about stuff that I haven't talked about on the channel, but I want to talk about. I'll just do it in this video. I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once about a couple weeks ago, I think, and it is phenomenal. If you follow my Letterboxd, I gave it 4.5 stars in Letterboxd, which I rarely do that, especially for new movies that I see in theaters. Like, that doesn't happen very often. And now, all of a sudden, 2 new movies, Coda's 2021, Coda and this have gotten 4.5 stars for me, which is very, very rare. That's an incredible thing that happened. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, it seems like a movie that I wouldn't necessarily love. I mean, I'm not a big fan of A24 for the most part. I love Ex Machina. Some of the other ones, I also love Uncut Gems, but some of the other ones, like, I hated The Lighthouse, which is part of the reason that I don't really want to go see The Northman in theaters. I might still end up seeing it, maybe in like $5 Tuesday or something, or wait till it comes on streaming. I do want to watch it, although, again, because that's the director of The Lighthouse, which I just don't like that type of movie at all. That is making me hesitant to go watch The Northman. So, I want to hear about that as well. If you've seen The Lighthouse and The Northman, do you think someone who hates The Lighthouse could like The Northman? Curious about that. But going back to what I was talking about, A24, Everything Everywhere is phenomenal. Now, it certainly goes on a little bit too long, possibly. The ending maybe suffers from multiple ending syndrome, and maybe the way that everything wraps up, the way that they resolve everything is a little bit too simple. However, it was executed so well and packed such an emotional punch that it didn't really bother me. I thought it worked. There's so much good themes and messages in here about regret and the path not taken, and that makes for such great emotional beats throughout the movie. On top of that, you got this craziness of the multiverse. I love this movie's depiction of the multiverse. Probably one of my favorite versions of the multiverse in any movie ever. Now we got Doctor Strange coming up, so we'll see what I think of that. But this one was really cool and unique. Made a lot of sense. I really enjoyed that. The movie is super unique in general and inventive and creative. I've never seen anything like this. It's also hilarious. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. So the fact that a movie that's this creative and this visually stunning, the action's great as well, is also quite possibly the funniest movie I've ever seen. And it's humor that, like, most people could never come up with. But they were able to do it, and it just, so many laugh out louds for an extended period of time throughout this movie. So to combine the emotion, it was super emotional. The emotion, the humor, the action, the inventiveness, the creativeness. It was got a little bit pretentious at times, like when they were talking about the everything bagel. That was a bit much, but other than that, I don't really think it was that. Like, a lot of A24 movies tend to get really pretentious. I don't think this one did that. I really, really don't. I thought it was phenomenal, and it worked for me, even though I was a little bit worried that it might not. but I really delivered. It landed on pretty much everything this movie was going for. Great performances all around. Michelle Yeoh, the kid, well, he's not a kid anymore, but played Short Round. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's a grown man now. He was great. Awesome movie. It's hard for me to crown a best movie of the year this early, but I really don't think anything is going to pass it up this year. That's how great it is. Even though how much I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it's got a lot of work to do. It's got an uphill climb to beat Everything Everywhere All at Once. So we'll see what happens, but it's by far and away, it's like, so I keep track of the movies I watch throughout the year on like a running list in my notes, and I put the score I give them to the decimal point, like 6.5, 6.8, 7.2. This one, Everything Everywhere, is like almost a whole point and a half ahead of the second best movie of the year for me, which is Scream, which I really like the new Scream, but Everything Everywhere passed that up in every way. I also saw The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Now, this one I didn't quite love as much as most people, mainly because I thought the spy plotline was honestly pretty dull and cliche, and I didn't laugh. I didn't find it quite as funny as most people seem to. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset. I was very tired. That was my second week at work, and I did not get very much sleep that week. But I enjoyed the movie. I thought Nick Cage was awesome in it. I thought Pedro Pascal was phenomenal too. He honestly kind of stole the show. Like, their relationship is by far and away the best part of the movie. Their bromance is hilarious. It's heartfelt. It's awesome. And there's so many references to his movies and his work, and he pokes fun at himself, which is great. He's clearly in on the joke, Nick Cage is. And then I just had a great time with the movie. And there's certainly one scene, which if you've seen it, you know what I mean, where they have to climb over the wall. Oh my God. The hardest I laughed in a long time, except for maybe during Everything Everywhere All at Once. Awesome. I enjoyed the movie. I didn't love it quite as much as some people because I didn't find it quite as funny throughout, and I also didn't really care for the spy plotline. But other than that, it was a ton of fun. One other thing I want to talk about that I've been watching is Ted Lasso. I finally started watching Ted Lasso, and it's great. And this is coming from someone who, my favorite two movies of all time are Seven and The Dark Knight. Not very uplifting movies, pretty bleak movies with very bleak endings. So I certainly have a cynical side to me. And that side was like really a movie about a guy who's an eternal optimist, like he's a sports coach. Like, how is this going to work? And it does. It's incredible. It works in every single way. It works better. If you explain to someone what this show is on paper, they'll be like, yeah, that might be enjoyable. But it's incredible. Maybe one of the best shows I've ever seen. Because it combines the humor, which it's really funny, and it's also got a ton of heart and a ton of emotion. It's a dramedy for sure. It's definitely not a straight-up comedy. And the drama is done so well, too. They maintain that balance perfectly. And Ted Lasso himself, who is the ultimate optimist, he works. Even though especially someone with me, with the cynical side, is like, that should not work. But it does. It's incredible. I'm almost caught up. I got 3 more episodes, I think, in season 2. And then you get the fact that he's balanced out with characters like Roy Kent and Jamie and Coach Beard and stuff like that. Keely's awesome, by the way. And so the show works on basically every level because it feels real. Despite the fact that this guy, I mean, how many people are really like this in real life, and it's genuine. I mean, you know people who are like fake eternal optimists, and there even is a little bit of that in him, which I'm not going to get into specifics, but it's genuine with him, and he's genuinely a really good guy. But he's also not perfect. Nobody in this show is. Everyone feels like true humans with real emotions and character. There are some phenomenal character arcs in this show. Like one character in particular I won't talk about, but he's had an incredible character arc, almost a completely 180, but it was 100% earned. Loving everything about the show. And there's one couple, I won't say who they are for people who haven't watched it yet, but if you have watched it, you know who I'm talking about. Amazing. One of my favorite couples in TV ever. And it kind of feels, well, if you don't already know who it is, they get together in like the second half of season 1. The next thing I'm going to say is going to give it away for sure. They're like the new era, like the new era's Stephen Hyde and Jackie from That 70s Show, which was one of my favorite couples in TV. Now, I'm putting everything with Danny Masterson aside. The characters, the couple in the show, one of my favorites of all time, and I'm still livid to this day that they didn't end up together. So I hope they don't do that with this. I hope this couple ends up together, because it feels like the universe trying to rectify Jackie and Hyde getting ruined, and they made this new couple that is certainly not exactly the same, but very similar to them in a lot of ways. And there's even a Kelso in the show too, so that's kind of funny, but incredible couple. Probably my two favorite characters on the show. Again, I'm not going to say who it is for people who haven't watched it, because I want you to be surprised when it happens. But for those of you who have watched it, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Ted Lasso is awesome. I don't know what I would score it. I guess probably a 9. It's an incredible show. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and it should not work as well as it does. But basically everything about the show works. They maintain the balance between comedy and drama perfectly. It's not a sports show at all. It's about the relationship between Ted Lasso and his fellow coaches and his players, and the relationships between the players and each other, and the owner and Ted, and the owner and the players. So much great stuff in the show. And somehow it feels like it never goes too comedic and it never goes too dramatic. It maintains a balance perfectly. I've said that a couple different times, but it bears repeating. Such an amazing show. If you have Apple TV Plus, watch it. If you don't, buy it, or somehow find a way to use someone else's account, or buy a new phone and get it for free for a year. Watch this show. I'm also, by the way, if any of you have watched Severance, I think that's what it's called, the one with Adam Scott, where people have their memories of work life and their memories of their personal life separate. That looks really good too. If you've seen that, please let me know if I should watch it. Do you recommend it or not? How good is it? I've heard some people say it's as good or better than Ted Lasso, which that's a high bar. So if that show really is that good, I'm probably going to try to watch it anyway, but I'd still love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, whether you'd recommend it or not. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I thought this video might be longer, but I guess it's only like 22 minutes long. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys what's been going on. I got a full-time job, so I'm sorry I haven't been putting stuff out that much recently. I'm going to really try to put more content out. It's going to be tough. I don't know if I'll be able to quite put out as much as I want to, because I'm in kind of a difficult conundrum here, to where I don't want to work for a corporation doing a regular 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. I would love to do something like this, or any other thing by myself, doing my own thing for the rest of my life, but I can't do that now. I got to build that up, so I have to make money until the point where this or whatever else gets to the point where I can do it full-time and do it for a living. So, but I also can't do this a ton because I'm working and I have to earn money. So it's a very difficult situation. It's kind of a no-win situation right now. So hopefully I'm able to find that balance and I'm able to produce the content that I want to. We'll see what happens. And again, because I won't be able to put stuff out as much as I'd like to, I want to hear from you guys what kind of stuff you want me to do, from the stuff that I've done in the past, tier lists, rankings, from the stuff that maybe I'll do some predictions. If I can find time, I'm going to try to do a predictions video for Doctor Strange 2, although at the time I'm recording this, and hopefully I'll get it out tonight as well, because I don't really have any editing to do. But at the time I'm recording this, tomorrow is the premiere, like the world premiere, so it might be too late at that point. But, that kind of thing. Seems like a lot of you found me for my Scream character tier list. You want more of that kind of stuff. I like talking about franchises. I'm actually not a massive... Well, I am... So, okay, I am a pretty big horror fan, but I have not seen a lot of the big horror franchises. Like, I've only seen 2 Friday the 13th movies. Haven't seen a single Child's Play movie. I don't think I'd be super interested in Child's Play, but I don't know. I think Scream, to me, is a cut above, like, all the other horror franchises. So that's why I love it so much. I love the MCU. I love to talk about franchise stuff, rankings, character tier lists, movie tier lists, stuff like that. So what kind of stuff like that do you want me to do? Do you think I should try edits? Would you like to watch that kind of stuff? Do you think I should try analysis of characters in the show, like old cartoons that I liked, like Ninja Turtles and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Justice League? Should I do, like, some video game stuff, which I already recorded a review for an old video game, which I've been sitting on that for 2 months, and I'm going to wait and put it out probably after the Doctor Strange hype dies down. But that will be put out, I promise. that kind of stuff. Talking about, I'm not going to do any new video game content. There's just too many people playing Elden Ring and whatever all that crap is. I don't really keep up with all that. But older video games I'm going to talk about. I don't know if there's a market for that or not. I want to hear from you guys. What should I do? What kind of stuff do you like? So let me know in the comments. And I feel like most people watching this will be already subscribed, because it wouldn't really make sense for people not subscribed or people not familiar with my channel to be watching this. But if somehow this is your first time stumbling upon my channel, look through my content, see what kind of stuff you like, drop a comment on here, what you'd like to see in the future. And if you enjoy my content, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified when I post a video. And that's about it. Peace.